Hi Scorpio, this is Kay. You're on the Collective Soul Tarot channel. Welcome to the channel and welcome to your reading. Let's get started. Please like and subscribe, especially if this reading resonates with you. And thank you for being here, watching the video. I hope you're doing well. Let's get started. What are we talking about, Archangel Michael? Air magic. Well, air magic, we're going to read that. But air magic to me is like the truth, making things happen, magically happen because of the truth, through truth. We'll read that in a second, okay? Let's find out the Lenormand and get some more content. Lord, number 29. Okay, so Lord number 29, that'd be like gentleman number 1 or gentleman number 2. I'm not sure which. And unless there's another one in here, let's just quickly look here to see if there's actually another one. There's lady, see number 28. Child. Oh, there's 2 ladies, so then there'd be 2. So this is lady and lady. Okay. So lady and lady, those two match. Let's see what the other Lord one is. And those 2 match. Okay. Right. So what I see here is that we have got like the Ace of Swords. We've got swords here. We got swords here because it's a spade. And these are hearts, so it's like cups. Okay, so that's love. This is a truth seeker. This guy is here. Okay. Thank you for bearing with me there. The truth seeker Lord. So that goes right in line with air magic. Air, of course, is swords. And that has to do with the truth. Speaking your truth, seeking the truth, being your truth. Yeah. Okay. We'll read that in a second. So, Major Arcana, please. Judgment. Yeah. Oh, look how beautiful I am, she says. Look how beautiful I am. I'm so beautiful, I love myself. That's truth. That's truth when you are feeling the truth. You have that inner strength in you. You do see yourself as being very powerful and just a beautiful soul. Beautiful soul that your body is inhabiting and is all around your body, by the way, too. Your aura. Let's get some clarification. The world. Okay. Card 21. The world. Put something to an end. New cycle. You're starting a new cycle. Truth. That comes in the energy, Scorpio, of truth, from what I can see from these cards. You are either this Lord, because in the Lenormand, it is, if it's a Lord or a lady, that would be a man or a woman. It's not about energies, just about energies of the feminine, masculine. This Lord is actually a man. So either you are a Scorpio man, speaking your truth, seeking your truth, being your truth, acting your truth, whatever, or you are dealing as a woman, Scorpio, you're dealing with somebody who's a man that's coming to you in truth. Air. Let's see. I'm just going to look in the directory. Air magic. Fire magic. Okay, there's fire magic. Air magic. Page 44. That's angels. Lots of angels. 44. Okay. Air magic. Without air, there is no life, but unlike the earth element, which is solid and obvious, the element of air is more ephemeral. Ephemeral. That's it. Ephemeral. And harder to visualize. You cannot, after all, hold a chunk of air in your hands the way you can a rock. So we often use something else to symbolize it, like a feather or incense. but that doesn't make it any less vital an element than Earth, or any less powerful. As anyone who has ever lived through a hurricane will tell you, embrace the power of air with every breath and send your appreciation out on the breeze. Action. Let's see. There is a simple way to connect with the magic of air, and you do it all the time. Breathing. Okay. Let's see. This card is telling you to do something magical connected to air. So speaking your truth. To make a magical connection with air, light a white or yellow candle. All right. And that's it. Okay. Very good. So speaking, using your breath, because unless you're just going to breathe all day long, just breathe, not talk to anybody, not even to yourself, you're going to be using your breath as a way to speak, as you know, the resource to use to speak, to push words out of your mouth. Yep. So, judgment, answering the call of not speaking your truth, answering the call to speak your truth is something you're doing, so you're starting a new cycle. And you're stepping into the energy of a lord, of a gentleman, who is all about the truth. Maybe you're becoming a lawyer. It could be something as simple as that. That you are truth-seeking, maybe medicine. You're seeking the truth about medicine. What's the best treatment? Maybe it's not even medicine. Maybe it's looking into herbs as being the best way to treat a malady. The Emperor. Okay. The Emperor. Yes. Okay. We got the Tower. Page of Cups. Page of Swords. 2 pages. He's looking at him, but he's not looking at him. Page of Wands. Oh my goodness. 2 of Swords. Refusing to make a decision. Ace of Pentacles. Divine Offering. Great big blessing and abundance and prosperity. Queen of Cups. Okay. 7 of Wands. The Lovers. Ha ha ha. The Star. Okay. 9 of Pentacles. Ha. Okay. 4 of Cups. 4 of Pentacles. Temperance. 5 of Wands. And the Chariot. Holy moly. This is about love. This is about love. First, loving yourself. First, loving yourself. The truth. The truth is that you're in love with somebody, okay? This Queen of Cups gal here. You're in love with this one. And of course, she's all about love. She's wanting to offer her cup of love to you, or that's what you would like her to do, and she hasn't yet. But she is all about love. She's very emotionally intelligent. She's balanced in her heart and mind. She has emotional balance. You, on the other hand here, I do believe is you as a husband to somebody. Okay? But this is like the magical mirror, you know, who is it, the queen in this, the 7 of the dwarfs, Snow White and the 7 dwarfs. She looks in the mirror and goes, who's the fairest of them all? Well, you are, of course, queen, blah, 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 whatever. But you're looking in it and you're saying, you know what, I'm looking at myself and I see I'm not full. I'm not whole. I'm not full. Not whole until I love myself, of course, but I have this love for someone else. I have this love for someone. When I look into my eyes, I see love I have for someone else than who I'm with right now. Scorpio. You're with somebody right now that when you look into the mirror, into your own eyes, you don't see that love mirrored back to you for your person you're with. You see it for the one that you want to be with. And so you're going to be putting an end to an era with the World card here, energy. You're ending something so that you can find your match, your divine match, which of course we've seen in the deck as being the, you know, that one there, the lady, number 29, is your divine match. Okay, so that's who the Queen of Cups is to you. You are seeking your truth. You're looking at yourself more closely, and while you're doing, like, what you're doing when I say you're looking at yourself more closely is that you're really trying to see what it is you really want. What is it truly that your heart wants? Is it some? Are you following a different set of rules that has you doing things and being with people that you're not really that in love with or that interested in, but because you made a promise a long time ago, and so you said till death do us part at that time, that perhaps I'm looking at myself and saying, how can I live out the rest of my life living up to this promise I made my other self, my other half, right? But when I'm in, especially when I've got eyes only for someone else. Yeah, so you've been doing some deep soul searching and asking yourself some questions. Again, that's the whole air, energy with the feather, is that you may be writing your thoughts down in a journal, but maybe not. But in any case, you have been asking yourself some questions. That's where you're using your mind, which is the air element, using your mind to think, to do some deep retrospection and reflection about what it is that really, what or who really makes me happy. And of course, it always comes down to you making yourself happy before you can say that someone else can make you happy. Always has to be that way. Just has to be, for it to be a lasting. If you want something to last, let's say you want to be with this person for the rest of your life, you got to find a way to be true to yourself. Okay? First. Because as long as you're true to yourself, that's going to be an eternal thing. It's going to go on forever. You've found your truth, and you're just going to feel tied to your truth, but tied in a good way. It's something that you're going to want to follow. It's going to be that proverbial carrot that's going to be dangling around in front of you. And you're the one, actually, it's hooked onto the back of your head, and it's over top of your head, the wire is. And then the carrot's over here. So every time you move, the carrot moves out further. Just you can never catch up to it. But you're going to be seeking your truth about what really makes you happy, and really it's the inner you that's got to make you happy, so that you can make something last. Otherwise, it could be just a karmic thing again, where you had to have the experience, a karmic partner, an experience that offers you another opportunity to then seek your truth and to follow your truth, like the proverbial carrot is your truth, let's just say. Okay, so you are now seeking your truth, but at this moment, you aren't quite following it, but you're definitely investigating it. You're doing your research on it. You want to be stepping into your big boy shoes of the Lord of Truth, Lord of Spades. You want to be the Lord of Truth, okay? So you're going to be seeking your truth. You are seeking your truth. You're looking in the mirror and you're saying, this isn't who I expected I would be. I don't see myself the same way anymore. And I don't like that I'm living my life for other people, or in a way that makes other people happy. So if you're going to stay with your wife, for example, just out of responsibility, that you're just going to do that and not follow your heart, then you're living your life to make your wife happy at your expense. Okay, so being truthful is having you find the courage, the strength and the courage to dig in and say, hey, I matter too. I matter to be just as important as I'm making someone else important. There's somebody I love, somebody I want to be with, and I feel like they do want to be with me too, because she's got a cup she's offering. And maybe the two of you have had, some clandestine, meetings or whatever, or somebody at work, and the two of you work close together, and you're just finding that the two of you hit it off. You've spent some time having dinner for work, as a work meal together. You laugh and you share, and you're just hitting it off, and you just feel like they're your counterpart. They're your other half, truly your true other half. And so you are trying to find a way forward of how you're going to be able to put the role of being this person's husband down, so that you can follow your truth, have that new chapter in your life. Follow your truth, okay? Follow your truth, because what you're going to have to do is invite the divine. And then you don't necessarily have to invite the divine, because the divine knows what's going on. Irregardless, the divine knows. It sees what our heart knows, even if we don't. It sees what our heart wants. And so the divine is going to come in and bring a tower moment, which turns into more than a moment, a month, maybe a year, depending on how long it takes to get divorced or separated from your person that you're with. Tower moment, the husband role is going to come to a crumble. That whole foundation that you've been living on as someone's husband, to somebody that you don't find that you're in love with anymore. You do love them, but you're not in love with them. And the tower is going to come down, because you have an offer you want to make that is your absolute truth and your absolute desire. Okay, you've got new pages all around you in your new chapter. Your first chapter is to make an offer to you-know-who, right there. Your second page is going to be about speaking your truth to them and saying that, I'm trying to get out of this with them, and I'm sorry, honey, or I'm sorry, it's going to be, it might take a year, but just know that my desire is only for you. My desire to be with you is stronger than anything else. That's your third page in your new chapter. Okay? But at times you sit on the fence and you think, what if? What if she really doesn't want to be in my life? What if she doesn't love me the way I love her? What if I'm just fooling myself? What if I'm just going through a midlife crisis or something? And what if I'm just today or this week or this last month I've been feeling like I don't really love my wife the way I used to, but then something happens, an emergency situation comes up, and the two of you are like this, trying to move through that emergency situation. Like somebody gets sick with COVID or something like that, and they have the type of health where it's possible that their health could deteriorate and they could die from the COVID. Well, that person is very, very important to both of you, or to your wife, or to you, either way. But the two of you band together, even if you don't on everything else. This is when you band together, and this is when you realize, I'm so happy I've got this person in my life to support me. I love them. And then it starts rekindling again. So you might be thinking, maybe it's just that. Maybe we need an emergency, kind of thing. No, you don't. So, but this card is telling you, the divine, when it shows up, says, you've got to make a decision. You've got to get off the fence. You've got to take that eye patch off and see with both eyes. Don't be looking just from one tiny half perspective. Look from a full perspective of what's going on with you. Speak your truth. Bring these swords out. Uncover your heart from trying to protect you from being vulnerable. Okay? It's about, the divine is asking you to answer the call, to take on the a new beginning of opportunity. And you have free will. You don't have to take it, but it's an opportunity to have a very abundantly full and prosperous life, because you are living your truth now. If you so choose to do that, decide to do that, you can with your Queen of Cups, who loves you, apparently, or at least admires you, all right? you've got to put up some healthy boundaries around yourself because if you're sitting on the fence like this, you got to say, I can't accept this. I can't accept just sitting on the fence when most days I feel like this, and other days I feel like that. So when emergencies, during that time of the emergency where me and my wife were bound together and we're supporting each other, everything feels good knowing the other one's there. And then for a time after that, it all feels good, and you have those memories of how the two of you stuck together to work through to overcome this particular challenge that you were being faced with. But every other time, it's back to, I don't really have those feelings for her like I did a month ago when we were da-da-da-da-da. So you put up some boundaries around yourself, how are you going to allow yourself to think, and how you're not going to accept this kind of thinking, but you'll accept that kind of thinking. And other boundaries, maybe you need to put boundaries around your person, your wife, okay? Or if you're same sex, your man, who might be the wife in the partnership. So you might have to put up some healthy boundaries and say, look, you might not say things like, I don't really love you, but you may say, you know what? I've been thinking really a lot these days, and every time I look in the mirror, I see somebody I don't like, that I feel like I'm not who I should be. And I just feel as though maybe you and we need to have a bit of a time away, time out from each other. And I feel like I need that. And then your wife might say, well, no, or she might say, well, okay, but, are you planning on going somewhere else, or do you want me to go somewhere else? And you say, well, yeah, we have to put some distance between them. Well, why can't we just be in separate bedrooms, but stay under the same roof? And you're going to say, no, that is not what I'm going to accept. It won't work like that. Just boundaries that you're going to enforce. That's showing that you're growing, you're evolving, because how many people have healthy boundaries? If you really think about it, you might say, oh, I got healthy boundaries, but do you really enforce them when the time comes? The people you talk to, friends, stuff like that. Do they really enforce them? And you're saying, now I've got to make a decision. The divine says I got to make a decision, and I got to choose either between my wife I have now or this Queen of Cups. Who's your wish fulfillment? That's the only question that you need to answer. Who fills your heart? Who is your wish fulfillment? Right? Probably this one. Okay, if I was guessing, then you've got to become single. 9 of Pentacles. You have got to. This one's going to heal you because you're following your truth. You're seeking your truth. You're a true seeker. You're knowing what your heart is truly speaking to you about, and you're going to be all wrapped up in this independence at the point where you're able to take on some different opportunities. Be open to different opportunity, which is that cup of love coming in from you, which is that cup of love. Doesn't look the same, but it's the one it is. Okay, so you are opening yourself up to leaving the past behind, leaving something else behind, and being open to receiving someone else's cup of love here. The 4 of Pentacles is that you may be shy on money, especially after the divorce. You may be shy on money. You may need to hold on to everything that you have in any kind of financial assets that the divorce or the separation won't take from you. You may need to hold on to that for a bit, or you might be a little shy on money, a little worried because of that. Temperance, that don't worry. The divine's got their, they got the angels all over this. You start making a decision to live your truth, to follow your heart, then the divine is going to be throwing out all sorts of red carpet for you to walk this way, walk that way. Be balanced and heal and be at peace. Be at peace knowing you made the right decision, because otherwise it is like you're just going to be eternally conflicted. Not only internally, eternally conflicted if you don't do it, follow your heart, on your deathbed with the wife that you have right now, you're going to be saying, I let this one go. I let this one go. I always wonder what it would have been like to been with somebody who was my true counterpart. If you think of the lady from the other deck, who was my, my true match, somebody I would want to be with. Not that I didn't want to be with my wife for the rest of my life. That was then, though, and this is now. But you want to progress forward. You want to move forward balanced, okay? With the Chariot card, it's you either got a horses or lions or something else, and there's white, one's black. That's the yin and the yang, the energy of the feminine and the masculine together. You're in balance because you're following your heart. Your mind and your heart. The yin is your heart, the mind is your yang. Yeah. So, yeah, I said that right. Okay, so you're balanced. So if you do not follow your heart, there's always going to be the what ifs. Something's going to be gnawing at you. Internal conflict for eternity. Yes, it also means there's going to be a lot of conflict to have to find some kind of peace with, moving forward to the inevitable, especially if you're following your truth, the inevitable action of going through a divorce and a separation from your current partner. Okay, so that's what I got for you guys today. So follow your truth, and you will be moving forward in a very balanced way with this one here. If you don't want to follow your truth, then you are going to just keep doing what you're doing. And this one's going to go on and do whatever they do in their life, okay, without you. But if you do follow your truth, there is going to be need for you to seek refuge in the divine, like the angels, to help you find peace in your heart and your mind, because you're going to be in a lot of conflict probably with your current wife, moving forward, trying to go through divorce. But otherwise, it's you opening up to that opportunity to receive a cup of love that's been divinely orchestrated for you. You see, the divine's got you on the path they want you to be on, which you might be shy on a few pentacles because you're going to be going through that whole divorce separation state. But this is also somebody that you have had that you haven't been able to let go of. You've been holding on to them, and they may have been holding on to you too. That's maybe why you are so adamant that you've got to follow your truth now. But it's going to give you peace to go towards what your heart desires, even though you have to go through the nasty first. But you're going to experience, you're going to experience eternal conflict and internal conflict if you don't press forward with following your heart. That one. But either way, when you look at this, Scorpio, it's to be said you're going to be experiencing some conflict if you decide to follow your heart. Conflict with her and conflict with yourself if you don't follow your heart. Okay? Hopefully that helped. Bye for now.